sure to put a smile on your face and put a smile on someone else's. Get up! Merry Christmas to those of you who celebrate this amazing holiday, to all the parents out there who got to watch their children open up the gifts. I just want to remind you that the greatest gift of all is your presence. Your presence is what truly matters. And we're going to harness that today. We're going to really own that reality. We're going to really own the gift of giving, the greatest present of all time. It's our presence. So thank you for being here. Thank you for those that are watching the live. I am so grateful to share this day with you, to share my heart, to share my inspiration. Sometimes we get a visitor, Mateo, my beautiful baby boy. Hopefully, we'll be gifted the presence of my beautiful wife. Today, we are going to speak about the 3 paths to purpose. The 3 paths to purpose. What does that mean? Are we talking about the ultimate purpose, the grand purpose that God has given us? We could be. We very well could be. So before we jump in, I want to just show some love to the chat live on YouTube. Good morning. Where are you tuning in from? We are on Facebook. We've got Jay. Merry Christmas. We got Ian in the building. Merry Christmas. Danae. Oh, yeah. It's going to be a special one today. It's going to be a special one. So thank you for being here. I am truly grateful again for your presence, your time, your energy. So, I truly appreciate the engagement. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Jersey in the building. LA time over here. All right. So the 3 paths to purpose, the overview that we're going to touch on today. We are going to really dig deep into this formula that I've been crafting, my life's work, this concept of going from pain to passion. Today, we're going to talk about the 3 paths to purpose. And for those of you who are on their spiritual path, today is a very spiritual day. Thank you to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Merry Christmas to everybody, all the believers out there. For those of you who are who share a different faith, this is a beautiful time because this is the interconnectedness of humanity. For everybody who's celebrating Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, all the different spiritual beliefs, welcome to the human race. And we're going to celebrate today. I'm going to share my joy. And hopefully in the chat, I can get you engaged to bring you some beautiful energy to reflect back to you. The greatest present you can give another is your presence. Woo! Yeah. We got the chat firing up. Send all the love. I need it. Let's go. All right. Yeah. All right. We got Ty in the building. My mother over on Facebook. What's up, mama? Merry Christmas. I'm going to give you a call in a few. But it's time to work. It's time to work. All right. So today I'm going to talk about the P3 formula. What is the P3 formula? It's this concept of going from pain to passion. We're going to focus on the 3 paths to purpose. Y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Hey, Ted, they ready? Hey, Luna, they ready? Let's go. All right. So the first path to purpose is reclaiming our personal power. For those of you who are personal development geeks like myself, who got introduced to personal development through Tony Robbins, his personal power program changed my life. So the first path is reclaiming our personal power. All right, so that first path, what do I mean by our personal power? A lot of the concepts that I talk about, I share my story of how I went from victimhood to victory to become a champion in life. There's so many experiences that I've had that have truly tested my character, So this first path has everything to do with character development. And because you've joined me in this coaching process, allowed me the opportunity to teach and train on high performance. I just want to remind you the definition of high performance is to succeed above and beyond standard norms over the long term while consistently maintaining our positive well-being and relationships. So everything that we speak on today, everything we discover and take away from today, we're focused on applying this over the long term, but we got to start now. And if we're going to win 2023, we got to start today. What a perfect opportunity. What a beautiful day on Christmas. Woo! I was gonna give you my Santa impression, the ho ho ho, but I'm enjoying this too much. All right, so the first path to purpose is claiming our personal power. Now, my wife, she is a spiritual healer and nurturer, right? So she's a painter, and she is the one who held the space for me to walk into my purpose. She saw me when I was in a stage in my life where I was struggling, where I was feeling that sense of inadequacy, that sense of inadequacy, that feeling of not feeling like I'm good enough, wanting to fit into the perception of what society's norm is, of doing things to gain approval and acceptance, doing things for attention. But the biggest area that I was neglecting was my own character development and who I was. But my wife, she saw it in me. She saw it in the young 19-year-old. She saw it then. She saw the potential to fulfill my purpose. She saw something greater for me. And because she held that space and allowed me to go on this journey and make a lot of mistakes, but unconditionally loved me through it, it's allowed me to come into my own, to recognize and acknowledge all the beauty that I have in my life. I credit it to her because she gifted me the greatest present that I have ever received, and that's the presence of my son. How many of us out there, have been given that opportunity to that life's golden ticket, that second opportunity in life when our inner child can be ignited? My wife gave me the most precious gift of all, and that's my beautiful son. Because the moment that he was born, like the moment I watched him come into this world, there was a feeling that overtook my body, this electrifying feeling that permeated and pulsated through me. It was something that was uncontrollable. I felt like I was going to faint, pass out. I felt like I'd fall over, but my spirit was being lifted. My spirit was being lifted. My body was breaking down. So I use the metaphor of a phoenix because the old me burned down to the ashes. And the one that I came here to be was arisen. I rose into greatness. The moment I saw my son, I knew God was real. I knew God was real because nothing that I did ever in my life could ever equate to the gift of childbirth. The pain that I watched my wife go through to deliver this amazing being. Nothing in my life could ever equate to being as important as what she just gifted the world. She just gifted the world a brand new opportunity. That when we have children, when we come into this world, we have a blank canvas. So when I watched my son be born, that's when I knew God was real. I knew God was real because I had a chance to be reborn. I had a chance to transform into the greatest version of myself because now I had to level up because this beautiful child was looking back at me. And all I could do was just cry. And I didn't understand. I didn't understand the magnitude of the responsibility that I was given. Nothing in my life had added up to this moment to tell me that this was my purpose, to raise and protect, to protect and provide for my son. Right. And I don't just mean from the worldly standpoint, the physical aspect of protecting and providing, but spiritually. Spiritually, I have to protect and provide him the reflection of love in all interactions. That he came to this world directly connected to source. So my job is to protect his connection. So what that meant was I had to go on an even deeper internal journey and actualize all of my visions of who I could become and actually live into it. How many of us out there got a vision that we know is extremely difficult to live into at times? We've got high expectations for ourselves, and sometimes we fall short. You see, my hand is up. But when we have the gift of a child, right? For me, that's my gift. For you, you may not be a parent, but that's okay. That's okay because I share my story to reflect back to you the opportunity that life will present you. That when you stay open to love, you'll be given that angel. And that angel is my wife. Like in real time. In real time, I have the privilege and blessing to be able to articulate, to be able to communicate my appreciation for that. Because I know how hard the struggle was. I know how hard the struggle was to get to this point. I lived it. And what I'm going to talk to you about today is, pardon me, what I'm going to talk to you today about is the three paths to purpose. The first path is our personal power. And I shared that story with you about my son. When he was born, I knew God was real because my wife, being this spiritual healer and painter, this artist, this nurturer, she taught me this different belief system that I didn't have. I didn't have equipped in my tool belt at the time. She taught me about the chakra system, right? So there's 7 chakras, these energy centers that run through our body, right? So I'm going to use those as metaphors as I go through this demonstration today. But the first path to purpose is reclaiming our personal power. And so many of us, myself included, have been and are suppressed in these 3 areas. First is our root chakra, that need for survival, that survival nature, that humanistic characteristic that we all share, the need for survival, our basic human needs. How many of us ever took a psychology class and learned about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? To reach self-actualization. So many of us stay suppressed in our lower needs and our lower needs for survival, right? For survival, right? And when we feel like we can't have the basic needs to survive, well, that blocks our sacral chakra, the second one, which is our creativity, our ability to express our uniqueness. Our ability to express our uniqueness, and then it moves to the third, our willpower, our solar plexus. Some of us are wondering why we don't have the discipline in our lives to follow through on what we know we need to give ourselves to be able to sustain the mission and journey. So I talk about personal power and reclaiming it by analyzing, are we giving ourselves our basic human needs for survival? Well, what is it we need for survival? Proper rest, proper hydration, proper nutrition. Sometimes it gets confusing because there's these demands, these human demands to survive by, providing a roof over our head, which I'm grateful for. you know, but it's about paying ourselves first. Before we pay that electric bill, we got to make sure we're paying ourselves. And that doesn't mean going out and splurging and consuming external things, but it's paying ourselves the time and presence we need to heal, to pay attention to how we actually feel, to ask ourselves, well, what is it what is it that would give me the fulfillment of my own self-expression, my own creative expression? Because the greatest gift we could ever give is our presence. But first, we have to be engaged with our own presence. We have to enjoy the gift. We have to be able to enjoy who we uniquely are. Because if we don't enjoy who we uniquely are, we start to attach ourselves to people, places, and things, seeking that external approval, externalizing our power. Our worth is based on another's perception of us. Our worth is based on a relationship. And if that relationship ends, well, then our basic identity ends as well. And I want to share with you that the decision to delete 100,000 followers was a decision to let go of an identity. The identity that I had shaped myself into, my self-image that I had formed from my need to be accepted by externalizing my power. I was externalizing my power because I felt like I wasn't good enough. So I sought the attention and traded my time and attention for others' acceptance. And that was the identity that I had formed. Who I was in the image and likeness of my environment. Who I was whoever I needed to be approved, like a chameleon. I could blend into any environment, but ultimately I was suffering. And I was suffering because I wasn't stepping into the opportunity to heal my inner child. I didn't give myself the opportunity to heal my inner child. I was suppressing my basic needs. I was suppressing my basic needs, which was blocking my creative expression. And then I didn't have the motivation or desire to stay committed long enough to actually go down the process of creating something and having that reflect back to me. The greatest gift we could ever give somebody is our presence. So we have to be in tune with who we are, with our presence, to allow God to use us as the vehicle to experience through us, to create as a co-creation that reflects back the appreciation, for the gift of life, the gift of breath. So how we step into the first path of purpose is reclaiming our personal power. That it's not just our willpower that's going to get us to follow through, because how many of us have ever committed and then went down this, this downward spiral of self-sabotage? I know I was the king of that. Build something up and then knock it down. Commit to a health journey. And then when it got tough, I'm looking for an excuse. I'm looking for a way to quit. Anything goes wrong, well, let me go back to that ice cream. Let me go back to those brownies. I know. It's Christmas Day. We got some good cooking on the way. I know. Some of the things that I share with you are going to sound harsh, but they come from a great space because I want to see the best. I want to see the